Hi, welcome back. It's Alex from Shop Before Podcast. Just talking about the next topic, which is compassion shouldn't outweigh common sense. Sometimes we let our heart make decisions for us, and it seems to get us in the wrong path where we find it struggling, for us to get back out of that path. Now, it is once we're at our most clear-headed and once we're at our most rational mindset that we find the way to get back out of the ditch that we've got in, all because we've tried to satisfy someone's rather than ourselves needs. What happens in life, we want to be liked. We want people to see that we will do things for them that this sometimes puts us in the danger line. And because we don't listen to our own common sense, we tend to take the risks and put ourselves in a position where we look at their interests better than our own. There's a good reason why each of us have our own rules of common sense, because if we live by our own rules, we find that our lives are so much simpler because we don't have to justify anything, because everything we've done is purely based on what feels right for us, not just what feels right in our hearts, because by doing that, we let our emotions take over, and sometimes they don't have our best interests at heart. It's because they are very clouded sometimes, only thinking about our feelings rather than the end result, the common sense, the part that you have to justify to yourself, knowing that you have only made the right decision because it was the only decision that should have been made, not considering trying to please everyone, knowing that you cannot please everyone. And the moment you try to please everyone, someone else doesn't like the fact you've pleased the other person, or someone doesn't like the fact that your mind jumps from back to front, claiming that you are this type of person, when in truth, you're only just trying to satisfy their needs. So if you stick by your guns and be who you are, and don't pretend to be someone you're not, and purely do what makes sense logically, you won't find yourself trying to get back out of the trenches that you've made for yourself, the dramas that you've caused yourself, all because you were trying to please other people. So most decisions made should be able to be justified with rational thought. If you can't justify your actions, it means you regret them. It means that you only did what felt right, even though you could tell that it was the wrong thing to do, all because you ignored your logic, your common sense, your intuition, purely because you let your heart take over your head, when it's as much as our heart tries to please, it's a head that gets the job done. It's the head that makes us not doubt our actions, because we've considered everything. We've used rationale when making our decisions. So if you run your life by letting rationale thoughts, you know that it's not always going to please everybody, but in reality, by you doing only what is rational, you know that eventually it will lead to your happiness, because ultimately your most logical part of your brain, the part of you that knows your ins and outs, knows what you need to get yourself to where you want to be, needs to be considered. If you ignore that and purely focus on your emotions, you'll find yourself stuck, drained from the experience of how to justify how you got to where you are. So in life, as much as our heart sometimes does take lead, our brain should always be in control. Otherwise, only regret will be left over. And you never have to regret anything if you just follow the right rules that common sense leads you to, because that's the part of you that considers every aspect of a decision rather than only the emotional ones. You need to focus on being responsible, because it's the emotions that don't take responsibility of your actions, and it's your emotions that eventually will rely on your logic to get you out of that drama. Otherwise, you'll sink dreaming of what you should have done rather than having no doubt that you did everything in your power to reach that happiness. So if you want to be happy, follow your brain, not your heart, because your heart is only considering itself, not the leftovers, not what's left when you've made those decisions, not the repercussions. So everything has consequences, and if you purely follow your heart into things, it would just lead you wondering how you got there and feeling stuck. So my advice, follow your heart only half the time and hold your head most of the time, or follow your heart only when necessary. Most of the time follow your brain, because that will lead you to your happiness. Thanks for today. This will be the end of episode 5, and we're going to just spend the rest of the time just explaining. If anyone would like to go on to lostmymind.com.au, it's my website where I share everything I do in relation to the observations of the world, and hopefully people can relate to and not feel so alone in their thoughts. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'll get you on the next episode. Thank you. Bye.